I've been working, for social justice and change and plant medicine as an avenue for healing generational trauma, personal trauma, PTSD, for veterans, for gang members, for queer folk, and even just your average folks that are traumatized. I am Medhani Vaughn. At a very early age, lived an unstable life. My parents were young, so they were just trying to figure life out themselves. I found community out with other young inner city youth, just a bunch of broken home kids teaching each other bad habits on how to survive. Saw lots of extreme brutality and violence at a very young age. And then that turned into pain management and coping skills. So in that, I experimented with all of the illicit, harder stuff, whatever was available, and whatever was cheap, because I was always, on a budget. Just as a survival mechanism, being unpredictable is kind of an asset. You can just move a little different. And then, as I grew as an addict, impulse became a thing, just feeding that compulsion. So I made some choices to get sober, and that stuck. And through that, I got to kind of get a reboot there. And after years of being sober, there were still some issues that were deeper, and even after tons of ceremonial journeys and spiritual journeys and real deep therapy, EMDR, hypnotherapy, I still couldn't pull the veil off of those things and get a clear lens on how it was I wanted to choose my life path. And so when I first chose to administer plant medicine to myself, it came from a place of very high respect for their origin and their real purpose, not just default to it. Since I began microdosing, I've never done a macro since I've been sober. Microdosing has definitely given me the ability to know when impulses are irregular. I think impulse is good in certain situations, but sometimes that can be misfiring, where a person is just impulsive all the time. Plant medicine has always been helpful to indigenous cultures. There's just been so much harm done with the way our government has withheld it as a resource for the people. Plant medicine, to me, definitely needs more advocacy and availability for folks. I think it should be a human resource program in itself. There is a whole level of healing that could be achieved if we could make it more available. I really love seeing people discover their ambition. One of the biggest pains ever, I think, is to see wasted talent and light, to see people kind of just dim themselves out. I am very inspired to do this work because of that. Yeah, it just keeps me driven. Every time I see someone make a little achievement or a little accomplishment and build a new life from scratch, it's always a great and beautiful thing.